Keep here with my first video of 2019. There's some topics that I want to discuss that have been on my mind for the last couple of weeks, and I think it's about time I start sharing those thoughts with people, just from talking to friends, family, and whatnot, and just kind of seeing how things are progressing for certain people. I'm going to try to keep this brief as possible. It's not going to happen because I talk a lot. It's my top 5 things I think we should kind of look into and forget about and kind of move on from those things. First 2 relate to the gym industry. The next 3 are more for life goals and whatnot. So, number 1, we're going to talk about this New Year resolution kick, right? Every year, thousands of people join a gym, and within the first 3 months, those people quit and leave. And I never ever think of why that happens. I never ever think of what occurs at that point. And I feel like a lot of it's just due to society being accepting of this New Year's resolution and ending it. But I think it's a time we leave that behind and start to look at how we can progress those things. When I first came into the gym industry 10 years ago, I was that New Year's resolution person. When you were the first person in that gym 9 years ago, you were the same person. We stuck with it, we were motivated to go, and we continued, right? But what gives us the right to make fun of someone or mock someone that does the same thing now at this day and age as the centuries and decades change? We don't have that right. We are not there to shun people, make them feel bad, record them when they're doing something improperly, because then if someone did that to me 10 years ago, I'd be out the doors as well. Always remind yourself and how you got to that position. No one was born into the gym. No one was born into the fitness industry. You always worked to that progress. You always worked to get to that goal you had. And now that you're there, it doesn't make you any better than anyone else, right? So instead of being negative and mocking those people because your gym's crowded and they're taking up your bench, why don't you do something positive about that and teach them something? Instead of recording someone doing something improperly and making fun of them, why don't you teach them how to do it properly? Because someone did that for you, whether it's a coach or a friend, they did that. So those people that come to that facility lost motivation because either A, someone wasn't helping them, or we just gave them that look. So always remember that when you carry. Some people we just can't help, you know? They lose their motivation and it's unfortunate and they leave, but there's also that 1 or 2 people that you could have made a difference for. When you see them struggling, help them out. And I'm gonna end that one here because I can carry on that forever, right? Number 2, these body wraps, fit tees, thermogenics, these things that always come about this time of the year. People want to buy these things to get that fitness goal, lose 4 pounds in a day or lose 20 pounds in 4 weeks. It's a load of nonsense. It doesn't work for you. When you wrap your body, you're just sweating more. When you drink water, hey, you gain that weight back. When you put in these thermogenics into your body, you increase that caffeine intake and you're working at really high stimulus, you're going to crash. And then you're going to get that goal. However, your body's used to being trained at a higher stimulus. It doesn't do you any good. These teas, no one should go on an all tea, all water diet or this juice diet, because you're losing those macronutrients, you're losing those minerals that are very key for success, and you're losing those micronutrients as well. So you got to remember that if you want to get to that goal, think longevity as well. Think of long term. Yeah, short term you might get that goal, you might lose a couple pounds, but can you sustain it? No way. The fad diet's got to go. Find something in your routine, in your life, that makes it a lifestyle commitment change, because that's a huge difference on how you'll feel long term, and then how you'll influence yourself to continue that path. So we talk about motivation, right? We lose motivation because once we get that goal, we stop. How we got there, we took a shortcut. But if you continue to build the step-by-step progress, you'll never lose motivation because you'll always find another goal to bounce off to. Those 2 things, I think, for the gym industry for the first half of this year, is as these just progress, something we got to forget about in the past and try to regroup and become more positive and start to do things the right way. And yeah, it's hard, but everyone that's been successful in life, whether it's fitness or goals, whether it's like your job or anything, they've taken those step by steps. They never went from step A to step Z, right? They went to B, C, D, and all that to get there. Number 3, I want to talk about self-belief. A lot of us, and including myself, we all have those issues where we start to self-doubt and not believe in ourselves because something happened to a loved one or something happened to a friend and they just fell off the path, and you think you feed off of that, and that's going to be you. Or you know what, that one day you were going out to set for this goal and it didn't happen, or you didn't get that job interview, or you didn't get that job in general, or you were fired, you were laid off, and you start to have self-doubt and self-belief. Those things are going to weigh you down a lot more. And that's what's going to continue to bring that bridge down, 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 right? You want to start to believe in yourself no matter what happens, because you're the only one that can do it. No one's writing your plan for you. No one's going to hold your hand through the entire time. When you were kids, Your parents held your hand for the first 10 steps. As you got better, your parents let go. That's what life is too. Life is letting you go. It's letting you kind of take its thing. So at some point, when you start to not believe in yourself, it's going to just let you continue that path. It's up to you to take your life and your belief and continue to carry that path of success because you're in control. Number 4, I want to talk about something that I've always seen more and more, and I kind of see as read continuing book. I'm reading a great book currently about it, and it kind of opened my eyes to that, is when people approach us with negativity, okay, what do we tend to do? We tend to help them with their problems. We never bring a side of positivity out, and I'm guilty of that. I know a lot of my friends are guilty of that, even when I brought my problems and whatnot. So you have to remember that if someone brings that negative thing to you, follow with the positive. Prime example is I heard a story about a man that, you know, in the morning he dropped his cup of coffee and he was very upset he's gonna have a bad day. And after that point, everyone he talked to had a bad day. He went home, talked to his wife, and he goes, "How was your day?" He goes, "I had a bad day, I dropped my cup of coffee." And his wife goes, "You had a great day because you're alive, but you can still afford another cup of coffee, you should have gotten it." Just like that, she took his bad day and flipped it around with a positive. And that's how we should be. Anything that happens, there's always a positive side to it. We're always taught that there's always a positive, and it's up to us as the individual to become that and show that positive vibe and show that positivity does occur. And lastly, I want to talk about, and we talked about my first step and second and third, is about motivation. And how do we keep motivation when we don't want that motivation? We don't feel like waking up and going out for work. We don't feel like getting in the gym. We don't feel like doing what we want to do. But also that motivation, how we lose of that path we chose, something happens and now that's not my path anymore. I want to find something else because we get scared because we lost that desire, we lost that motivation aspect. For me, there's certain things in life that, given my past and just given who I am, have always been my driving factor. And if you know me well enough, you know what those are. And I think every single person in the world has that. We have motivational aspects of us that really push us to be better. We have those desires that make us be better. So at times when you lose motivation, okay, this is a time where you sit down at a table, drink a cup of coffee like I do, and just regroup and rethink about why were you taking that step in the first place? And then create your plan of what happened. If you failed, what caused that failure? And then if you succeeded, what caused that success? And carry on. A lot of us get to a point where we're so motivated, we get the goal and we stop. That shouldn't be that way. You should always have another goal to carry on to because you're never going to be perfect. You should strive for perfect every day, but no man dies perfectly. You always have to continue to be perfect and every day just be better. Be hard on yourself if you have to. But where we tend to lose motivation more is not on success, is on failures. And that shouldn't be that way either, right? Our failures are lessons. And that's when you go back and look at that lesson and be like, okay, where did I go wrong? And how do I continue to motivate myself? So remind yourself of the story that you created for yourself up into that point. What led you to that action, what led you to that stage in life, and what led you to that goal. And when you start to go back and regroup and take a minute and pause and realize what motivates you to get there in the first place, that's how you keep your true motivation. Surround yourself with people that are positive, that continue to remind you that, hey, you're going to be great. You're going to do it. If you failed, it's okay. We can get back and do it. And that's the issue too. We have to surround ourselves with the right people. Not the people that want to see you fail, the people that want to see you succeed. And through your failures, they'll remind you how to succeed. And through those times where you have self-doubt and self-belief, they remind you why you want to succeed. Guys, as I mentioned, this video wasn't going to be brief, but these are 5 things that I wanted to bring out to our attention to open our eyes a little bit, to create some more positivity in the world. There's a lot of negative things going out there. There's a lot of things that bring people down. So you don't know the difference you can make in someone's life. You don't know who's watching you to be better, who's looking up to you to be better, whether it's a sibling, a friend, or a stranger. So it's up to us to create that for the future and create that for the people behind us as well. It's been a pleasure, guys. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I'll see you next time.